Okay, so I am super excited to share this challenge activity with you. This year, I have a group of students who are what I like to call challenge resistant. I have a few go-getters in the group, but overall as a class, my students are not super interested in taking risks and trying challenging math. So I am constantly on the lookout for ways to get them engaged in math that's rigorous and exciting and that will maybe captivate them a little bit. And these problems did exactly that. So I want to talk through how I use them and how they work in case you might be interested as well. This is really working on that foundation of algebraic thinking, where students need to understand the concept of balance, that two sides of an equation will balance. Okay, so I use the example of infants that have a mobile over their crib and how it hangs from one cord and it has to balance so it doesn't tip. That is exactly what these are. So you can notice it has a bar across the top, and we know that everything on this side has to balance with everything on this side. Now, I don't give too much information to the students right away, but we look on the card and we see, what do we notice? And on this one, we notice that the joule weight is going to be 12. Okay, so you can see that right there. That means that this plus this plus this have to equal 12. We also know that if the two sides are the same, because they have to balance, that this side will be 6 and this side will be 6. Okay? We also know that when we have two joules of the same color, they have to be worth the same amount. This one can't be 5 and this one 1 because they are the same joule. So hopefully at this point, students can recognize that the red one needs to be 3, this needs to be 3, and this one needs to be 6. Okay, so I use this card to kind of set that foundation. Now, another option for you is to actually model it with cubes or other counters, right? So if I have the total weight of 12, and I know I have to split them, I can actually put the 6 here, and then I know I have 6 on this side, and they have to be split, and I know I have 3 and 3 and 6. So for kids who need a more concrete representation of this, this is perfect. Okay, so that was card 1. I want to skip ahead a few cards and just show you how the understanding builds here. So you can take a peek at this, and you can already see it's more complex, right? We have 3 different gems. We don't have the total weight. This time we have the blue plus 2 equaling the yellow. So we have a number sentence up here that's going to be important. And this time what we are given is that the white stone is worth 8. Okay, so together we can start to do some brainstorming about what we know. And we know that each of these is going to be 8. Okay, which means that this entire side is going to be 24. Okay, so because we know that these mobiles have to balance, we know that this side is also going to be 24. So that's a great way for us to get started. And then we know that this and this have to be the same, and this have to be the same. So I can then refer back to this challenge and realize that I can maybe try guess and check. Like, what would happen if I had these each be 1? And I know my whole mobile, or this whole side, has to be 24. That means I have to have 22 over here. Let's check. Does blue plus 2 equal 1? No. Some students might even at this point say, well, wait a minute. The yellow one has to be more than the blue one because a smaller number plus 2 will equal that. So we could try a few other options. We could say, okay, well, what if I make each blue one 5? That would be 5 and 5. That makes 10. Okay, I could even write that down. And then if the blue plus 2 equals yellow, blue plus 2 equals yellow. So these have to be 7. That makes that 14. Oh, I'm writing sideways. I apologize for that. I nailed it. Now, of course, are students going to get it on the first try? Probably not. But in the interest of time, I'm showing you how that guessing and checking. Perhaps they had started with 3, and then this would be 3 and 3, And then this would be 5 and 5, and you can see that the students would be too low with their work and they would have to go up. So it's a great tool to work on guessing and checking, modifying your thinking, and so on. Anyway, the students are absolutely loving these challenges because they get just more and more complicated. And then even at the end, once they finish all the challenges, they have the opportunities to try their own and to build their own, which is a lot of fun. So when you see that some of the cards have different kinds of clues, like this one, or sometimes you have a total weight and a number sentence. There's just a ton of options, and as they move into the higher cards, we even get like double balances. So this side, and there's a balance off of that. So I think you can see that students who love a good math challenge might get totally into these. And the other thing that's great is because you can use manipulatives and the numbers are all relatively low, it is very accessible for lots of different students. I hope you find it interesting, and check the link in profile if you want to check them out.